Doop doop doo 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 doop doo. All right, welcome to Every Second Matters for October 2018. This is the legislative update. Every Second Matters is a grassroots awareness campaign for the Second Amendment and rights in general. The second of every month, do something to expand awareness and knowledge and just basically overall general support for the Second Amendment. It's a grassroots campaign. Lots of people do many different things. Some people open carry and hope to start a conversation with the general public. Some people will, I don't know, start to talk at work or with their family and friends. The thing I do is put together a legislative update of all of the bills that have been introduced, voted on, passed, signed, vetoed on the state and federal level over the past month. So I'm going to dig into this one. This month actually did not have too many things going on. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time at the end to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart. And I might rant a little bit on that. So just so you know, that's coming up. But other than that, I'm going to try and keep this short and informative. You can check this out over at gunchannels.com/every second matters, or obviously over here on YouTube. But check out everysecondmatters.com. That's basically the website equivalent of what Every Second Matters is, where grassroots go ahead, join up, and start posting things about your own state or stuff that you found out about. There's a section for federal level stuff and state level stuff, and basically the idea is it is a megaphone to amplify the works that other people are doing in the Second Amendment. In fact, actually, I'm going to derail real quick before I dig in because I totally forgot this when I was setting this up. Recently, it was just near the end of the month here, I went to the Gun Rights Policy Conference, which is all the gun rights groups in the country getting together and talking with each other, helping each other out, giving speeches for the audience, but also I think somewhat of the more important stuff is being in the same room with each other, shaking hands and kind of talking, off record, just person to person, like, hey, I need some help with this. What have you done? Bloomberg's tossing his money on this thing. You guys defeated him last year. How'd you do it? Do you think I should try this? Hey, do you have that contact for that advertising person you used last time? I mean, lots of cool stuff. As just a regular grassroots person, I'm not affiliated with any organization. I'm just myself, the friendly neighborhood snowman. It was still really cool to watch it in person. I've watched it a couple times online the past few years, but this time being in person, it was in Chicago this year. Next year, it's going to be in Phoenix, I believe. I guess they take turns at being pro-gun state, anti-gun state. So anyways, that is something that is basically kind of what I'm trying to do here with this of getting the information out there to all you people, and then all you people go write all your people that and it snowballs and we end up affecting change. And that's kind of what everysecondmatters.com is all of the people can come together from wherever you're from, and you can focus either as detailed or as broad as you want to be and help magnify that voice of the Second Amendment and just rights in general, or at least for me. And all right, so we've talked about it a couple times actually over on Gun Channels about the Gun Rights Policy Conference, and I may even do another follow-up again with some of the people that were there and some of the people that watched live. I have some pretty good notes. We did a couple like right after the fact. Now that we've had some time to digest, I think it'd be cool to do another one and see what really stuck, what we still really remember. But anyways, that was a side note. So let's go ahead and dig right on in. So over in California, we had two anti-gun bills that got vetoed and one that was signed, and we'll dig into what those were here. So first one, Senate Bill 1177 would have prohibited a person from making a purchase of any type of firearm or I forgot how to read. So Senate Bill 1177 would prohibit a person from making more than one application to purchase any type of firearm within 30-day period. As it stands now, or even before this bill, you were only allowed to buy one handgun per month in the state of California, but you could buy as many long guns as you wanted. This bill would have changed it to where you can only buy one firearm in a 30-day period, no matter what type it is. And that got vetoed, so that's actually a good thing. And now California is only like half infringed on, so I guess that's okay. The other one, Assembly Bill 2888, would have expanded the list of people eligible to file the take your guns away with no due process order. It would have authorized it to employers, coworkers, employees of a secondary or post-secondary school, and that just would have added to the people like immediate family members, law enforcement, and I think healthcare professionals, which is as it stands now. So they do still have the take your guns away with no due process law, but it's only immediate family, law enforcement, and like I said, I believe health professionals, but it doesn't say right here in this. So I think any of that is bad. So making it where even more people could start, doing that, that just means, hey, you have a bad meeting with a coworker and that person doesn't like you, they could just make something up. I mean, false accusations can happen, and now they take your guns away, and you have to try and prove a negative of, well, I'm not a danger to myself or others. And then let's see, there was another one, Senate Bill 221. It would have prohibited the sale of firearms and ammunition at the Cow Palace location in District 1A. I have no idea what that is, but it got vetoed. So I guess if you live in the Cow Palace, good for you. You can still buy guns and ammo. So the laws that were signed was Senate Bill 1100, which would raise the minimum age to purchase a long gun from 18 to 21. So basically now in California, you cannot purchase any firearm until you're 21. And then the other bill is Assembly Bill 2103. It adds requirements to the training program that you have to take in order to get a concealed carry license. So let's see, they already are required to have up to 16 hours of training and at least 4 hours of additional training every 2 years when you renew. So that's what it already is 16 hours and then 4 hours of additional training every 2 years for renewal. This is adding to it. It doesn't say how much it adds to it. So that's I don't know how much worse it gets, but anyways, let's get away from California now. All right, Pennsylvania, potential for gun control as they come back. This was from September 24th. So let's see, they're coming back from summer break over there in Pennsylvania, and House Bill 2227 would allow seizure firearms with no due process. So they're looking to create this take your guns away with no due process law. It's House Bill 2227, and now that they're back from break, they may consider it. It doesn't have a date scheduled, but just if you're in Pennsylvania, write your people and your representatives. They're supposed to represent you. Tell them, hey, don't vote for 2227, or even better yet, don't even like bring it up. Let it die in committee or whatever. I'm not quite sure where it sits in the process, if it's already passed committee or not. But anyways, tell your people you don't want that, because it's a system that's very easy to abuse, and I don't think it's really going to solve any problems. So now we're moving over to New Jersey, the ones that like make sense on gun control. They added some amendments to a bill that was already dumb, and they made it even more dumb, so it's getting dumber than dumb. Anyways, this is A3129, and let's see, blah, blah, blah. So the original bill, it was largely unnecessary because it banned manufacturing unserialized firearms, which is something that's already against the law in the state of New Jersey if you don't have a New Jersey manufacturer's license. So they already say, hey, if you want to make a firearm, you have to have a manufacturing license. Now they're saying it's illegal to do that, but it already would be if you didn't have the license. And the amendments they added included things like, and these are in quotes, covert guns and undetectable non-metal guns. The amendment also focused on 3D printed guns, but there's already a federal law from 1988. It's unlawful to manufacture, import, sell, ship, deliver, possess, transfer, or receive an undetectable firearm. That obviously is the Undetectable Firearms Act that I'm sure you guys are familiar with. So it's already illegal federally. It's already illegal from New Jersey's point of view if you don't have a manufacturer's license. And they just made an amendment to a bill that's already redundant, and they're dumb. Now, we can sit back and laugh and say, haha, you made it double illegal. You're silly. The problem is, if you ever want to get rid of these laws, now there's two of them and they overlap and they probably start referencing each other. And then you toss in some amendments and maybe there's a court case that references the thing and now you have precedent, blah, 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 whatever. They make it on purpose, convoluted like a web, so that if you ever want to start peeling back and repealing some of these infringements, it takes way more work because now you have to get rid of another step, another thing. And it's frustrating. So if you're in New Jersey, write your people, tell them they're dumb, and that, be nice. But let them know you don't like that. And they shouldn't vote for it. Like I said, these were just amendments added. So if they don't vote for the whole thing in general, then that just dies in the House and it never goes anywhere. So let's see, Nebraska, this was from September 21st. An anti-Second Amendment group is planning to attend the Lincoln City Council meeting on September 24th. Well, unfortunately, that's already passed. The idea is that they were going to urge for them to adopt gun control ordinances that would basically be safe storage type laws. So if you are in Nebraska, go figure out if they did that. Like, did they urge the lawmakers to pass safe storage laws? And if so, write your people and tell them that why do I say write? Call them, show up. These people showed up. I'm sure they bust in from somewhere, but they showed up. That was what they were planning on doing. So you guys go do the same thing, but write, call, email, show up, do whatever, and tell them that these safe storage laws are ridiculous. There's no one size fits all for everyone's situation. Some people live by themselves. Some people have 20 kids running around their house that they never know what they're doing. There's different things going on, and there are different ways to store a firearm and keep it safe that we as gun owners are smart enough to figure out on our own, and we don't need people telling us to do it, and we don't need laws forcing us to do it. So anyways, I'll get off my soapbox on that one. And now we are digging in. So this is not even at the state level. This is actually, like I said, this is the one that's close and near and dear to my heart. This is a Wayne County commissioner. People don't know where Wayne County is. That is the county in Michigan which Detroit is in. So basically Detroit, but also the surrounding suburbs. So a Wayne County council person wants to, I guess they call it the bullet bill. Basically, it makes ammo more expensive and harder to get. Now, I was reading, this is an article from the Detroit Free Press, and I was reading through, and some of these quotes are worthy of mentioning because, oh my goodness. So let's go ahead and dig in. So Reggie Davis is the Wayne County Commissioner for the 6th District, and he announced basically a regulation on ammo, not guns. This is a quote from him saying, "We're up against some state and federal laws. Even if it takes me going to lobby in DC, and I expect it will, we need to make these changes." So he already knows that to do a county-wide thing, it already, because of preemption laws, go against what he's allowed to do. He's like, yeah, whatever. I know I'm not allowed to do this, but I'm going to try it anyways. Ha ha ha. So this is another very interesting line. And there are some quotes here. So this is basically what he said. And before 2001, Davis admits, and now here's where the quote starts, had a fetish with guns. I had sniper rifles, double-barreled sawed-offs, Glocks. That is his quote. Now, if you ask me, a county commissioner should probably not admit to having NFA weapons, like a double-barreled sawed-off. Now, perhaps he had the tax stamp, but if you're the type of person who gets a tax stamp for a short-barreled shotgun, you're probably not the type of person who calls it a double-barreled sawed-off. That's something you see in the movies. And saying that you had, like, he's admitting himself, he had a fetish with guns. That makes it seem dirty and wrong. Like, ew, you don't just like them. You don't just think that protecting yourself is important. You have a dirty perversion. You have a fetish. I mean, these are the types of things that anti-gunners and anti-rights people say. And this person, I guess he turned into one. So he used to have guns. And then basically says everything changed February 19th, 2001. Davis's younger brother was slain in a botched armed robbery. Going back to Davis' quote, he was a kid who was not in the streets. He had a father, he had an older brother to steer him. One night after midnight, someone decided to rob him because he had a car and some nice things. And then basically he got shot during the robbery. So after Vito died, and going back to Davis' quote, I'm going to memorialize my brother and his life in a fight against gun violence. So his brother was a good kid. He's basically, from what he says, not looking for trouble, not involved in illegal things, just happened to be out. Some guy tried to rob, I even don't know it says guy. Some person tried to rob him, shot him. Okay, don't know much more details than that, but it is very sad. And I do feel for the family and for the person who lost his life. But I think adding bullets taxes and making it more expensive and doing, which I will get into, is exactly what he proposed. There's some more stuff in here. How exactly does that save his brother? The person who took his life was a criminal who wanted his money or his car or whatever. And either, I don't know, I'm speculating, maybe he fought back, maybe he complied. The dude, I just keep saying dude, I don't know that was the dude. The person, shot him anyways, which is one of the reasons why it's important to carry a concealed weapon, because maybe you're being robbed and you can save your life by pulling your concealed weapon and fighting back. Just saying, it's not 100%, but it gives you a fighting chance, right? I mean, it gives you a higher percentage than if you didn't. So again, we're going in, blah, blah, blah. Basically, sorry, I'm kind of reading along as I go. So this is a little bit different format than I normally do. But okay, Davis's bullet bill ordinance would build a new structure for purchasing ammo around law enforcement approval. Potential buyers would need to undergo a mental illness background check with their local police department or Wayne County sheriff. They would also need approval for each purchase, except at gun shows where showing a certificate of a previous mental illness check would be sufficient. So you have to go to the police department or sheriff and get a mental illness background check. And then you get, I'm assuming, some type of piece of paper that says, yes, you're allowed to do this. If you want to buy from a store, you need to do that every single time you want to buy from a store. If you want to buy from a gun show, you have to do it at least once, which proves that you passed a mental illness background check. And then at least at some point you passed it, therefore you can buy from a gun show. But what's weird, I'm not sure about this because I should have pulled up the actual the legalese, the wording of this. I apologize for not doing enough preparation. I thought this had enough information in it, but I wonder if it's in order to buy from like an FFL, you need to get one every single time. So when they say except at a gun show, as long as you have a past one, you're okay. But if you're buying it from an FFL at a gun show, you still have to have a new one every single time. It's possible that's how it's worded. So you could buy from a private party as long as you've had at least one at some point in your life. But if you want to buy from an FFL, you have to have a brand new one every single time. Which then begs the question: how does the gun shop know when you walk in with a piece of paper that says, "Look, I have this. I just got it," and then they say, "Okay, cool. We'll sell it to you." But does that expire or something? Like, what if you get the mental check background, the whatever, I said the words weird, and then you wait a few months and then you buy ammo. You still haven't used it up yet. but they'd say, well, we can't use this because it's 2 months old. It's like, yeah, but I haven't bought ammo with this one yet. So I don't know. There's probably some type of expiration date where you have to use it within 3 days or something. So now again, I'm speculating on this. If that's the way it is, you now have to coordinate your purchases. You can't just stop off at the store on the way home from work and go, gee, I forgot. I need to get some hunting ammo, and I'm going up north this weekend. I wasn't planning on it, but I'm going to go buy a box. No, you have to think about it on Wednesday because you have to make some time on your lunch break to get the permit or the background check thing. And who knows how long that takes. I don't know if it's instant or if there is a waiting period for that. I'm thinking back to the handgun purchaser's permit. They had up to 3 days to give it to you. So maybe it would be they'd use a similar system because we used to do that. We don't do that anymore for handguns, but Michigan used to do that. If they use a similar system. So now you have to plan that because you might have some time after work on Friday to stop at the store before you go up north and go hunting or target shooting or whatever you want to do. It's just why? It's just infringement for the sake of infringement. And then I guess there's another part of it, and then I'm going to go back. So additionally, it would raise taxes on ammo and use the funds for gun safety and gun rights education. And then in quotes, teaching about the Second Amendment and how to use a gun safely and about gun violence. So they're going to use money they raise from taxes on ammo, which there's already tax on guns and ammo, right? I mean, that's what funds a lot of the wildlife preservation and some other things. Like hunters and shooters in general spend a lot of money that go to the states and the federal government just by buying ammo and buying firearms. But anyways, but he wants to teach about the Second Amendment. So you're going to use money you gained by infringing the crap out of the Second Amendment to teach people about the Second Amendment? What is that? That doesn't make any sense. I don't trust you to teach people about the Second Amendment because you clearly don't understand what the Second Amendment is. And this is where I'm on my soapbox. You guys know it shall not be infringed. It means shall not be infringed. Oh, you're poor? Sorry, you can't buy ammo for your gun because we're going to put a 5,000% tax on it. I don't know the number. There's not listed here. But, you want to get this? You want to get that? Well, you're not allowed to. But don't worry, we're going to take money from the people that are privileged enough to be able to afford to buy ammo under our new scheme. And the other thing is, does the background check, this mental illness background check thing that they're making up, does that cost money? If it does cost money, then that's even more money that someone's going to have to do if they want to buy a single box of ammo. Go get a check, pay some money. Buy the box of ammo, pay some taxes. Decide, you want a second box of ammo? Go get a second check. Go buy a second box of ammo, pay second taxes. It's going to get real expensive very quickly. So you're going to take the money from the privileged people who have the right to exercise their right to keep and bear arms and use those arms for, what they see fit, self-defense, hunting, recreation, whatever. There's no, mandate of how you use your firearms, but you're going to take that money and then teach people that, the Second Amendment's a thing that protects us from infringing it. Oh, wait, you don't have an extra $50 on you? Well, you can't get the background check. Oh, you want to buy, I don't know if it's per purchase or I guess it's probably a percentage of the sale price, but you want to make a bulk ammo purchase, you want to buy, a couple thousand rounds of ammo because you get a cheaper price. Well, guess what? Now the taxes are a whole bunch more expensive, so it's not a cheaper price anymore. So you're spending way more money. Now you can't afford to buy that much. You can only buy 5 boxes. And then a little bit later, you're going to save up. Oh my God, it keeps spiraling. I'm thinking out loud here, so sorry for the ranting, but if now you can't afford because you don't have, the whatever $700 all at once to make one huge bulk order, so now you're going to only start buying 2 or 3 boxes at a time. Well, now since you've bought 2 or 3 boxes at a time, you're still paying the same amount of tax by the time you do have those couple thousands of rounds. But since you've made one purchase, 1 box a week or something, because you get some money from your paycheck and you save a little bit away, and you buy a little bit of it. Well, now you have to do another check, and then you do another check and another check. I mean, that's the reason why buying bulk ammo is nice. Why I like doing it is I'll save up, whatever, $10 from every paycheck. And then once I have, whoever, $500, bam, spend a whole bunch of money, get a whole bunch of different types of ammo. Now I'm good for a few months or a few years or maybe a few days. You don't know how much I shoot. I'm not going to say how much I shoot. But now you can't do that because it's even more expensive. Now you have to save up $1,000 in order to afford to buy those couple thousand rounds of ammo that can last you a couple months, couple weeks, couple years, couple days, couple hours, who knows? And you're going to have to do another check and another check and another check because you're only buying 100 rounds at a time. Well, you guys know when you go to the shooting range, you buy 100 rounds at a time. Like, it's way more expensive to just buy a couple boxes every time you go instead of buying 1,000 rounds, and you're good for a few times. This is absolutely ridiculous, and I am getting all worked up, partly because I drank some Faygo, which is a Detroit-based company, and I don't care what you people say, it is very, very, very good pop. Not soda. You guys who call it soda are weird. You guys call it Coke down in the South. Every type of Coke. What flavor Coke you want? That's weird. No, I'm drinking soda. It happens to be Faygo Moon Mist, the blue type, and I'm all hopped up now. But I'm also hopped up on freedom, and I'm hopped up from the Gun Rights Policy Conference because I want to make some changes. We need our Second Amendment in this country. So people like this, Mr. Davis, don't think that having a mental health background check every time you want to buy ammo and increasing your taxes is okay, and that it's complies with the Second Amendment, that it's something that's good. Now, I wanted to tie it all back, and now I'm going to calm down a little bit, okay? I promise I'll calm down a little bit now. But go back to his scenario. His brother was killed. That is sad. Why was his brother killed? Because someone robbed him and then shot him. Do you think that criminal would be able to pass a mental illness background check? Because it doesn't say a criminal background check. The person may be a felon, in which case, okay, they shouldn't have the gun anyways, so they're already breaking the law having the gun. I don't know that the person's a felon. That could have been the very first crime they ever committed, or maybe they've never been caught committing a crime, so he might not be a felon. I keep saying he. I don't know the person was a he. Just assuming. That's bad of me. I'm sorry. So the person who ended up killing this guy's brother, they might most likely not have had a mental illness problem. So that person could have complied with this law and still bought ammo. Maybe they're a criminal, but they're not mentally ill. They could have still bought ammo and still killed his brother. So that still would not have helped in the situation any. And if anything, because they spent more money to buy the ammo, which ended up then being used to kill this guy's brother, maybe they'd have to rob two people because now they have even less money. They're obviously robbing because they need money or they want money. I don't know what they want money or they want the car or whatever. Well, now if they are, again, I'm speculating here, but if they are in economic problems and you make them spend more money in order to defend themselves, they're going to need even more money. And maybe that's why they become criminals, because they need the money. Because we all know it's a more complicated issue than just bad guys, good guys, although we like to simplify black and white. The reality of it is, if you can fix economic problems in a region, you tend to see crime go down. So it is how it is. When you look at where crime happens and what's going on, most of the time people do bad stuff because they started doing bad stuff because they wanted money and it was easier to sell drugs or do whatever, rob places, than to do it the other way. Or at least they think it's easier. I think it's more complicated. It's obviously harder. You have a lower lifespan, but people make choices. That's what they do. So, focus on that stuff, fix that, and then you don't have to worry about the other stuff. So now I am really off track, and I'm sorry for the rambling there, but the fact this is in my own backyard, and the fact that if this goes through, I am going to have to deal with it, gets me all fired up. And I hope that you people listening also get fired up, but maybe you're from Nebraska or New Jersey or California or the other places I mentioned earlier. You should be just as fired up about that stuff. I'm fired up about that stuff for you. I want to fight against it. I'm going to help you with that. But you can tell I'm a little extra fired up because of this Wayne County thing. You guys should be extra fired up because of your New Jersey or Nebraska or California or Pennsylvania or any other area. Nowhere safe. They try anti-rights bills all over the place. So anyways, I'm done rambling. I need to take a breath. So thank you for listening to this edition of Every Second Matters Legislative Update. I will be back again next month for the next installment. And like I said, you can find this over on gunchannels.com as well as everysecondmatters.com. And I'm just going to say what I always say, and that is write your people, call your people, show up to your people's offices, show up to your people's hearings, show up to rallies, Show up to the gun rights policy conference next year. Get involved. Like I said, I'm fired up from the gun rights policy conference because I'm just a regular person. I drove over to Chicago after work, and I booked a hotel room for a couple nights, and I was in the same room with a bunch of other people that are pro-rights people and pro-gun people and pro-Second Amendment people. And I got all jazzed up hearing what they were doing, and I want to do more. This is my part, and I'm going to continue to fight, and I hope you guys do the same. So thanks for watching, and keep the rallying cry going of "shall not be infringed."